Hey football fans, this is Greene, longtime professional sports bettor here in Las Vegas, and this is your Monday night week number 9 NFL preview between the Tampa Bay Bucs and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are a 9.5 point favorite. The total is 45.5. You can expect around 60% possibility of rain at Arrowhead tomorrow night. When we look at this game, we'll look at the Tampa Bay side first. It's been a high-flying team thanks to the offensive plays of Baker Mayfield, some good, some bad, but a lot of points and a lot of yardage. When we look at the last 4 games for Tampa Bay, total points scored in their game, 66, 78, 72, and 57. This is a team that should be running the ball more, missing their top 2 wide receivers, but heck no, they have a head coach, Todd Bowles, who doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and I can rip this guy every week, and everybody else can rip him every week, but he doesn't make any changes. Offense and defense, the schemes on defense are bad, and the overall situation of how they're play calling on offense, it's good for Baker Mayfield. He's getting numbers, but here's the key numbers. Passing yardage, great for Baker. 1,025 passing yards the last 3 weeks. 92 for 141, fantastic. 10 touchdown passes in 3 weeks, fantastic. The problem is 7 interceptions. You can't get picked off 2.3 times a week for a 3-week span and expect to win. In the last 4 games, they've lost 3 of them. The only win against a belittled and beat up New Orleans Saints team. So you have a Kansas City team, though, 9.5 point favorite now. A lot of money coming in of late on Kansas City. But this is a team, their wins are by 7, 10, 13, 7, 5, 1, and 7. So for the most part, if this game can move up another half a point, they would have won 1 time this year in their whole entire season, 7 games, by this point spread. This is an offense that is just not playing well. Now, they added Hopkins, didn't do much in his first game. Maybe they get a little more out of him. I'm not real high on the first-round pick, Worthy. He drops ball after ball after ball right to him, right in his arms. He's going to make a big play here and there, and that's what everybody will talk about. But I watch every play, and I watch how you play. Obviously, Kansas City has Patrick Mahomes. He still does his Houdini stuff. But the offense just hasn't really been clicking in the last few weeks. They finally got Kelsey involved, and he's starting to catch balls, 7, 8, 9, 10 catches a week. But overall, they just don't have that exceptional wide receiver talent that they've had in years past, and that's due to a lot of injuries. When we look at Mahomes, though, 8 touchdown passes in 7 games, 9 interceptions. He's got 1 300 passing yard game. He's got no game this year with 3 touchdown passes. He's thrown an interception in all 7 games, and he's been sacked 9 times. So how is Kansas City 7-0? Well, I'll tell you, just like I tell you every week on my videos, radio show, whatever I do. It's because the defense is phenomenal. And why is it phenomenal? It's because they have the best defensive play caller in the league in Steve Spagnuolo. The schemes are outstanding. They know how to take advantage of the talent that they have against the mismatches that they have on you. Now, offensive line-wise for Tampa Bay, they have very good offensive line for the most part. Baker Mayfield has time. Sometimes he takes way too long. He's not willing to throw balls out of bounds too often. He wants to make a play on every play. That's why there's a lot of great ones in there, and then there's a lot of bad ones for loss when it comes to interception throws. You can't do that in this league, but this is what this league has become. Now, when we look at the schemes, what happens with these great schemes? 35 tackles for loss for the Kansas City defense, 15 sacks, and then another zillion forced passes to be thrown away. This is an outstanding defense, and for most part, they are shutting everybody down every week. Now, Tampa Bay, as far as I'm concerned, in this game, what's going to have to happen? If they were smart, they would try to run the ball a little bit more in the beginning. It's going to be rainy. We saw with Detroit and Detroit and Green Bay. The rain did predicate a little bit, but more or less it got out of hand, and then the running game just kept going and going and going for Detroit. They never tried to score. That's like the 3rd time this year that they failed to go over a 24.5 team total due to just being ahead by too much and not playing normal ball in the second half. I just feel that if Tampa Bay has any chance to win, they have 3 quality running backs. They got to try to run the ball and keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands, but they won't because they're just too stupid. But when we look at the defense, what's even worse about how bad it's been for Tampa Bay on the defensive side of the ball? Awful play calling, bad schemes, bad tackle, and I'll give them credit. They've had some, pretty big injuries on the defensive side of the ball. All teams do. You have to be able to come in and make up for it. But the defense has only been on the field 27, 25, and 25 the last 3 weeks, and they're giving up the big numbers that they're giving up. That is bad, and that means that your defensive play calls are horrific, and that's what's a problem if you want to look at Tampa Bay and you want to look at, as Kansas City do. I say this all the time on shows, but you're never due to do something that you haven't done. So far, Kansas City hasn't had a good real season on offense. It's been disastrous. I mean, C- grade if you want to even give them that. They're 7-0 though, and that's great. It gets overlooked. But when we look at the situation here, Kansas City is going to have to pass the ball more. They just have to. I mean, this team has just given up big play after big play after big play. Patrick Mahomes knows he hasn't had a big game all year. 7 games, not one with 3 touchdowns. All the interceptions that he's thrown, he takes a lot of chances. He always has. But I don't think he even has to take too many chances against this Todd Bowles defense. Now, in my mind, when we look at the Tampa Bay defense, again, they're not going to be tired coming into this game, so that helps. But their problem is they can't cover receivers, and they definitely can't cover tight ends. So I would expect Travis Kelce to maybe get 8-9 catches. I've been giving you a prop bet, and I'm not a prop better. They've been getting hit easily every single time I tell you one. But again, that's not something I do. I try to just stick with the sides and the totals and not get into trying to do a million things. You can't be a top pro winner for a long time trying to do everything. You try to stick to what you do the best. But I think he will have 8, 9, 10 catches, 80-plus yards. He got his first touchdown last week. I expect him to get at least 1 here in this game. And he's had 10, 4, 9, and 7, so he's starting to become a part of the offense. And if they can get Hopkins involved, that will help Kelce as well. With Tampa Bay's injuries on the defensive side of the ball, again, you can see a lot of big plays get hit by Kansas City because they are one of the best teams. When Mahomes can scramble, he can give his guys a lot of time back there, and these receivers and tight ends will get wide open against this Tampa Bay defense. To finish this out, I love Baker Mayfield, but he doesn't play defense, and that's a big problem. Kansas City, though, they're living on the edge. Somebody's going to get them. I don't know who it is. If Tampa Bay was at full strength, I'd have probably been saying, hey, I'll take a shot with Tampa Bay because they're more due to finally get beat. They're not due to just keep winning by luck every single week. That's going to catch up to you. So when you're laying double digits to Baker Mayfield, though, if you take Kansas City, the one risk that you're going to have is that he's going to backdoor you late in the game because he is phenomenal as a passer these last few years. This guy is the most improved quarterback in the NFL other than Jared Goff over the last few years. So should be a great game. I will pass this game due to the weather factors and just let it ride out. I think that it should be an exciting game. Obviously, I would probably have to lean towards the over if I was forced to take a play, just due to the fact that Tampa Bay's defense has given up so many big plays. And then once they fall behind a little bit, they end up throwing the ball 40, 45, 50 times. And when you do that, the game's going to go over probably 85% of the time. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out all our videos on a regular basis. And if you have any questions, email me anytime at GaryGreenWins@gmail.com. And Greene has an E, so it's Gary Greene with an E, wins@gmail.com. Hope all your wagers are winning ones. Never bet what you can afford to lose. Have a great rest of the week.